This is a Heart and Hand production.
Hello folks, my name's David. I'm the host of Heart and Hand, the Rangers podcast, and I'm here tonight after Rangers' latest humiliation in Europe. This a particularly painful one, going down 3-0 in Norway to an average Brann side who didn't need to get out of second gear to defeat this Rangers team, which is a shambles. Danny Rule, if he didn't know the size of the task ahead of him, will know now. You can understand sometimes when a team loses a match or whatever, but that team tonight were a disgrace. They were an embarrassment. They are so slow. They don't work particularly hard. They don't give everything for the cause. And they are a shambles when it comes to things like organisation, discipline. But the work isn't there. The hard work isn't there. The amount of players at walking pace that we see so often. And the blame for it, of course, lies with Kevin Thelwell. No matter what Andrew Kavanagh said at the press conference the other day, I've said that I don't see Thelwell being here next season. And it's because of that utter disgrace of a squad that he's put together. The players are either really bad, Chermiti, Megoma. They're not mature enough to handle the challenge of playing for Rangers. They may have a little bit of skill, Antman, Asgard, but they just don't have it. Rothwell has been a disaster. I mean, he can't run. Raskan, of course, a lot of praise from our support, but he's been rotten and looked as though he was phoning it in tonight. Suter and Tavernier, just dire, just absolutely dire. The only one who comes out of that game with his own dignity is Jack Butland. The rest of them, they really need to have a long, hard look at themselves in the mirror, because the worst thing you can do to a support is give the impression that you don't care. That's what that looked like tonight. They looked like they didn't care. And Brann took advantage. He made 2 changes to the side, Danny Rule. And in the first half, Rangers created a couple of early chances. Raskan had a couple of early chances. And then Brann began to get a hold of the ball in midfield. And this is where Rangers' inability to do anything to affect the tide of a game comes into it. There are huge spaces all over that side, right along the back four, right through the midfield. The ball doesn't stick up front. We don't get it to players facing the opposition goal. The midfield's far too passive. The defence just doesn't look as though it knows what it's doing, doesn't look in any way that it has any sort of plan to cope with any defensive, and always looks panicky. And then we just allow teams to play their own game. We don't compete for second balls. And Brann took advantage. They got the first goal 8 minutes from half time. Again, it's one of those long balls that Rangers just seem incapable of defending. Tavernier is 20 yards out of position. Nobody's covering. Rothwell's not covering but like he should be, and Suter's slow to react. And the boy gets in, drills it across goal. He's a wee bit lucky because he miskicked it, but it fell to the on-rushing Brann player, who of course wants it more than the defenders running back the way, and it's 1-0. Hopeful of something in the second half, but it just got worse and worse, and by the end they looked like they chucked it. They never really held it to chuck it, to be fair, but the second goal just summed everything up. Antman takes a horrible first touch in the opposition half and then runs to get the ball back, allows the Brann player to drive right to the edge of our box, then fouls him unnecessarily, and from the cross the Rangers defence is standing stock still, allowing the free kick to come in and the Brann defender to just stroll into the box and head it home. And if he hadn't, there were 2 or 3 others waiting in line for it. Rangers just not affecting the play as per usual. And then finally, the last twist of the night, again far too easy to get down our right hand side. Tav's legs have gone. And he was never a great defender, but he's just not mobile enough now either. The ball comes across, looks as though Cornelius is going to deal with it, but Raskin runs in, no communication. He gets a toe on it, which takes it away from Cornelius and straight to Noah, and he puts it away for 3-0. And it was totally deserved. Rangers deserved to lose that match. This squad is a shambles. Danny Rule has his work cut out. To be honest, I think you could stick Pep and Jurgen Klopp in there at the moment, and I'm not sure they could do much for it. It's the attitude. The attitude of the players is absolutely disgraceful. Tonight they were an embarrassment to the shirt, And I sincerely hope Danny Rule looks at a few of them and thinks, no way am I putting my reputation on the line for you guys. And Rangers cannot allow Kevin Thelwell and his son near our budget for January, because if we do and he gets another pile of rubbish like the one he brought in the summer, where will that leave us? The whole defence needs replaced, midfield needs overhauled, and by the way, we could do with some forwards. Apart from that, everything's rosy. 20 million net spend, and there were some big fees coming in, remember, to end up with that squad. And we're now bottom of the Europa League group stage with no points. That isn't what we've seen at Rangers. Even the last few years where we've had poor teams domestically, we had better than that. He has made us worse. He has taken the squad, in my opinion, back to pre-Gerrard levels, and he should pay for it with his job. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to me. We'll have more breaking this down on Patreon if you can be bothered. I wouldn't be surprised if you couldn't. And I'll be back on Sunday when we take on Kilmarnock at Ibrox. Bye-bye.